This is Smoking Out the Closet. Now, here are your hosts, Alex and Rayven Greer.
Hi, I'm Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Alex. I use they, them pronouns.
And welcome back to another episode of
Smoking Out the Closet.
Sorry, I felt like I have a frog in the back of my throat. Ribbit.
Such a silly joke.
So you're back.
Yay!
Yay!
Hello, I'm back. Did an episode without me. That was kind of weird, but
It was
it
weird.
sounded cool. Seemed like you had fun talking to yourself, the void, the peoples.
Yeah, it just felt weird because I didn't have you here to kind of like reel me back in on the topic. But before we actually get into our topics today, we actually shared a strain this week.
Yeah, because Rayven went to the dispensary and got something I usually get. And I was like, cool, let's just smoke some of mine. We'll smoke it together. We shared a joint together. We smoked a whole joint together. So that it would be like half for you, half for me, technically.
And, it was something that, like, I was thinking, like, we should do a review together. I got it the same day I got the Texas butter by the bank. So I have Terrapin's Lemon G.
Yeah, I like this stuff. This is in my go-to cabinet all the time that I tell you about. I've smoked it on the show before, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you've actually said your review, but we'll soon probably do another one. I like it. It is very heady.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very heady, very
floaty,
nice kind of feeling.
Yeah, it's a calm kind of feeling. This is what I go for when I want to get high, because I get really anxious, and this is where I like to be. Of like, it's quiet. My brain feels quiet. I can think about neat things. So,
I mean, it does taste a little weird, but I got a lemon head.
It is a little lemony
to kind of help.
Yeah, but I like it.
That first kind of couple hits, I just felt like I was smoking Pine Sol almost, like lemon Pine Sol.
It's very lemony, and I don't know. It's not like a harsh. It's not harsh. It's a very chill, nice strain.
It's not a burning harsh, but it's a very gassy, strong. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But
I really like that. I prefer that to the really heavy, dank stuff.
I like the dank stuff. I like the strong flavors. Which was what I had an issue with Texas butter because it tasted almost like nothing.
Yeah, maybe I'd like it then.
I think actually that might be a strain Mom would really, really like too, because it doesn't taste like much.
Mm-hmm. Because your mom doesn't want it to taste like a skunk's butt.
But yeah, it's
but sorry, God. 10.
I give it a 4 out of 5. Just because like I feel like I would need more than I usually do for other strains. And the fact that it was just a weird first couple hits of flavor wise. But also could have been the method we were using it. So I definitely want to try it a few more times in different methods. That's in the gummies we made.
Yeah, this is. I've also smoked this in a bowl. It tastes different.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on how you're smoking it, like how much air is getting in there with it, how hot it's burning, stuff like that.
So I'd say with a joint 4.
I like it. This is one of my ones that I used to smoke it in that little pipe that I took to your mom's for Thanksgiving. That's what that was. And that was my go-to that I bring with me all the time. And I've been smoking this since before we moved, right? I just really love this strain. This is like, hey, I found the flower that finally works for me. And this is the thing that started the recommendations of what would you recommend from this? Okay, that I like this. What would you recommend from this? And like the branch of stuff, of strains you can go down. And it's pretty cool because it creates like this weeping willow tree effect of where all these strains came from. But that was the one at the bottom. That was the root of it. So it was like, that's the one that started this whole, hey, dispensary person, what do you recommend for me?
Yeah.
It was this one. I really like it.
That's good. Should we talk about what day it is today?
Yeah, sure, we can mention it.
So we're not doing a Valentine's Day special because that's all big corporate bullcrap. Anyway,
thing. We usually do something small for ourselves just because we're like, hey, we love you.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna like break the bank over it.
Or like what, a $12 pizza?
Yeah. I added a bunch of extra crap on it, made it $30. with the cinnamon pull aparts.
Oh, yeah.
And the freaking garlic knots. Because I don't know, when I was building it the other day at work, when we were super slow, this is what I was doing. I was ordering ahead of time so it got delivered today. And, whew. Also, it's the first time I've ever done this. Like, can I just say that's pretty cool? Because he had called me when it was out of the oven. He's like, yo, it's done now. Can I bring it over early? I'm like, hell yes, you can bring me pizza early. I love you, Papa John's. Not sponsored, but throw some money our way. I love your pizza. Yeah. Like, no, that was cool. But, yeah, that's all the only like our tradition thing we do every year. And then I make you a gift. I've been hand making you gifts the past few Valentine's days.
This year was actually the first time I didn't hand make you one.
Yeah. That's just kind of our thing. We go on the cheap for the stuff we get for each other, but it's thoughtful.
Yeah, but I mean, the gift I got you was like, what, $12, $13?
Yeah.
Because I got it on sale.
Yeah, sales. We also used to, before like we started living together, right? There was a time when we actually didn't live together. I keep forgetting that. But we lived separately and our schedules didn't quite line up right. So we'd see each other the following day after Valentine's Day, usually. So we'd run to fucking Walmart and just get armfuls of shit that was on sale.
Yeah,
for each other.
We're probably doing that after I get off work tomorrow.
Yeah, like I love that shit.
Just cheap on sale candy is the best.
Chocolate is amazing. Also, it's an aphrodisiac, which is why it's paired for Valentine's Day, at least now in the corporate world.
But can you imagine like getting someone like a bouquet of just pot?
Yes. Chocolate pot?
Ooh, like edible arrangements that are
edibles. Oh god, yes.
Ooh, that actually sounds really fun.
Oh yeah, it does. Oh man. That should be a thing.
It should be a thing.
It probably is a thing out in Colorado or California.
Were you about to say like California and Colorado together? Like Caliroto?
Colorado. I almost put it together. I'm sorry. California and Colorado. Like they do all the cool stuff out there.
Actually, speaking on the West Coast, kind of to compare, West Coast to East Coast right now. I did learn that PA is the second highest medical marijuana seller.
Wow, really?
Yeah. We're right behind Illinois, who is the first.
That's kind of cool.
On average, that we're the highest.
Do we sell the most?
No.
No?
The price tag's the second highest.
Oh, I thought you meant we sell the most.
No.
That would have been cool.
There's no way we're beating California.
No. I thought that's what we were talking about. But no, the most pricey? What the fuck?
Yeah. Illinois on average for an eighth is about 62 to 65 range. We're about 57 ish range average for an eighth.
Yeah.
That's really expensive.
Yeah. But also, I've been thinking like buying stuff on the legacy market, right?
Yeah.
I was paying $25 for a gram, not an eighth, a gram, when I was living out here 7 years ago.
Yeah, but I was seeing stuff online too where like people were like saying like, oh, I got that in this area. But then people were saying, well, I got it cheap also in the same area of PA. And I'm like, where the hell are you guys going?
Yeah.
First, I don't even know where the hell to find a plug. That's why I go to the dispensaries. Yeah. I don't even want to try to go to like the legacy market.
The only reason
it scares me.
My legacy market moved away because I was in college, right? He was a frat guy. He was the one I told you the only frat party I've ever been to was his.
Yeah.
He became my plug after the party where I thought I accidentally did K2, which I found out it was K2 later. Yeah, that party. He started selling me weed. And it was 20. He cut it for me because he was like the guy between the dealer, like the grower and the sellers.
Yeah, he's the middleman.
I was buying from the middleman. So he was like, yo, I'll do it $20, right?
So you got it on the cheap then.
Yeah. But if you calculate out what you're paying at the dispensary, sometimes you're only paying like $7 a gram. When you factor out eighth price.
Yeah. The thing that like a lot of people don't understand is like, yes, it is cheaper in California. It is cheaper in Colorado. It is cheaper in Washington. The biggest thing is it breaks down to the growing methods. California, Colorado, Washington, they have legislation that A, allows them to do outdoor grow, but B, they also have the perfect area to do outdoor grow. I just realized I didn't put my earrings back in.
Oopsies. Oopsie poopsies.
I'll put it in during the break.
Okay. Just remember.
But like they have. Hey, now you're checking yours.
I know. I just didn't even take mine out before the shower. Felt silly.
But they're allowed to do outdoor grow. They have the ability to do outdoor grow. They have this, perfect. Especially California has basically the Italian cook, chef kiss of ground
to grow marijuana.
To grow, yeah. PA doesn't, and we talked about that in a previous episode. It's really hard to grow it in here. That and PA's legislation requires it. I just learned not too long ago, requires it to be all indoor. So that drives the price up. You also have people who are very pharmaceutical backgrounds coming into the cannabis industry here. So they're going to try gouging prices and everything too. So it's basically the biggest factors is the greed of the people who aren't originally from cannabis. We'll get your thoughts in a second. I promise. Supply and demand, because we have to do indoor grow. We can't grow it fast enough here in PA to keep up with the demand.
Yeah. Where California can just do outside grow wherever they want, because their laws don't prevent anything.
And the indoor grow legislation is kind of putting a strangle on the supply issue. That's why we're so high here.
Mm-hmm.
No, what were you gonna say?
That was reminding me so much of my aunt. Have I told you?
Yeah, you said that on the episode we talked about it before.
Yeah, is growing pot at my grandmother's house in the freaking hillside in central Pennsylvania. Like
I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just really harder.
It is difficult, but the fact she did it back in like the 70s like that, holy shit. Apparently there were like 50 plants. By the stories of it, she had a freaking patch of it.
Yeah.
Like shit.
But like we talked about it too. Like the hardest thing for it is just because of how filled with clay the soil is here.
Yeah.
And it's not just Pennsylvania. It's a lot of the coastal plains of the United States, and the coastal plains are the East Coast that used to be during the Permian area. No. At one point, after it already had split from Pangea, we were underwater. Everything here was underwater up until like where the Mississippi is.
Soren, if you're listening to this, you know what time period we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the time period.
DM us, please.
But there was pretty much decent chunk of the East Coast was underwater.
Yeah.
Which is why we're lower elevation up until you hit kind of like the other side of the Mississippi River and you start hitting the Midwest.
This like unlocks a key memory for me as a kid of my grandpa Miller. His farm was pretty big. We were talking about it, like how it was. We had a huge like estate sale and everything, and like grandma couldn't stay there because it was like this huge piece of land and this huge farmhouse. So like a bunch of kids, right? Because Bob has a million brothers and sisters, and they're a large family. Where's I going with this?
I don't know.
But a key memory is us going there, and it was like in springtime after it rained and everything. You could go in the shale like banks in the beside the road, and you'd find fossils. Like you could bust open fossils and stuff. And I remember doing that as a kid.
Yeah, you go to the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is part of the Appalachian chain.
Yeah,
you can find like trilobite fossils and crustacean fossils up there.
Yeah,
that's because where it was. Because it was underwater.
I remember doing that as a kid.
That's not super far in Virginia, like,
and
deep.
I don't know if like sometimes I think that's not a real like memory, but I feel like it is. And I'm like, I really hope it was real because I remember this. Like I never talked to anybody about it. I can't remember like maybe asking Kathy, she might remember. But like that'd be cool.
Yeah, we can do that.
I think I have a bunch of rocks at I had a bunch of rocks at my mom's house. I was a kid that like, collected rocks like crazy.
Yeah, I remember as a kid like going down like, because where I grew up in Virginia was in the middle of what's called the historical triangle of Virginia. So you had like, basically in the center, you had like Yorktown, Jamestown, and Williamsburg. And That's where most of my field trips were. Like, you get sick of Busch Gardens after a certain point. You get sick of Colonial Williamsburg. I want to go back, but it's been like 11, 12 years since I got to any of these places, right? Like, you hear, your big senior field trip was to Busch Gardens.
Yeah. Our class trip was to Gettysburg and stuff like that because that was so close.
Yeah.
I had been to Gettysburg a million times by then.
When I was in high school here, everyone was gearing up to go to the Smithsonian. I'm like, why? I don't want to go back there. What? We never gone. Oh, I've gone so many times.
That was my senior class trip was down there.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of weird, but like, I remember going to Jamestown, and because it's where the old settlement was, or colony, it was still by the river. So you'd have like, it's brackish water, so it's where the fresh water meets with the ocean water. Mm-hmm. And I remember finding rocks with sand dollars in, like old sand dollars in them.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad that I'm not the only one now that remembers like.
No, that's real common down there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can find stuff like that in Florida and like
I want to go do
the Everglades and stuff too.
Yeah, I also want to try to find a hagstone by the water.
No, I won't touch hagstones.
You won't touch hagstones?
I won't touch them.
Why?
I don't fuck with Fae.
Yeah. Yeah, we are Irish, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't fuck with the Fae. No.
We are Irish, aren't we? Yeah,
yes, I don't touch hagstones. I don't.
You probably should not fuck with them.
But no, where was I before? Before we went on that that side tangent. The growing in PA, and like why the price tag's so high. But yeah, it's a lot of it is just it's supply and demand issue is the biggest thing. Now there are other factors like stockholders, transportation, the building, everything, all putting a increase on the price tag. But in the end of the day, the supply is not near where the demand is.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that's part of why we haven't gone rec either, is because we have a hard time keeping up with the demand for medical.
Because there are so many times that the dispensaries are out of flower.
Mm-hmm. Or out of certain brands and strains.
Because it's just so hard to grow here.
Mm-hmm.
And then talking to one of a prior coworker, he used to live in Colorado and then he moved out here. And that shit was everywhere out there. And he had outdoor sun-grown marijuana. Mm-hmm. And he said it just tastes so much fucking different than everything else that's grown indoors.
That's like...
And I want to try it. Like, I need to go back to Colorado.
That's like basically with vineyards.
Yeah.
You can have an indoor and an outdoor vineyard. The outdoor vineyard's always going to taste better than the indoor because artificial light does affect the flavor of plants.
Huh.
And how plants produce chlorophyll.
Yeah.
And that if I remember correctly, that affects the flavor of what you're eating or ingesting or inhaling.
Can you imagine? Does it like change the terpene expression? Or do you get the same terpene expression too?
It might. I don't know. I'm not that far into like the food science stuff.
Okay. But
now here's my question. Because going back to whole like Virginia and everything, Jamestown was a big tobacco grower in colonial America. And they did grow hemp.
Yeah.
There. So I'm wondering if it's sandy enough on the coastal plains. Could you grow marijuana outside there?
You might be able to.
Because the only time it was weird because you would hit like this weird mix of like clay and sand when we digged in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was, you had topsoil, sand soil mix, sand, and then you hit clay. Where here it's just dirt clay.
Yeah.
There's no sand in between.
No.
Because I think we were too close. We were so close to like the Atlantic. We had sand kind of in the middle.
Yeah. I remember digging around in the yard as a kid and like finding a bunch of clay and stuff too. Like, and it's pretty up near the surface.
I think in Virginia it was a little lower.
If you go, even in some places, you can only go a couple like inches, like 6 inches down until you hit like limestone and shale.
Really?
Yeah, it's so rocky up here.
That is the issue, because like where mom and dad live, it's on top of an old dried up riverbed that's just over centuries just got dirt tunneled up. So I mean, you go like not even a foot down, you're hitting rocks about like a big.
You know how I know this too? Sandy had a lot of bulbs. I hand planted every single bulb in Sandy's house.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was what her and I did in the spring. I'd help her plant her bulbs, and you dig down with this bulb planter thing, and it would plant it 4.5 inches deep. That's how deep they had to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd pull out the plug of it,
mm-hmm.
and you'd put it on the ground, and you'd see like dirt, a little bit of rocks, and then big hunk of clay, and then like sand, like shale and stuff, and limestone, because Pennsylvania is full of limestone.
Yeah, that's why certain areas like where we used to live in State College had calcium deposits on all the water and everything, is because calcium always builds up naturally near limestone.
Yeah, Pennsylvania has some very hard water because of that. But like, hey, I'm lactose intolerant, and I just drank a lot of water as a kid.
Oh yeah, there's your calcium.
There's my calcium.
Speaking of PA and medical marijuana and shit, do you want to talk about the big thing that happened recently?
Oh my god,
we got emails about.
Yes, this again.
So for those of you who are in the Pennsylvania medical marijuana program, you probably got this same email that recently around 500 vaporizers were recalled due to some added ingredients that were not approved by the FDA for inhalation.
Mm-hmm.
Now this you wanted to read the email, didn't you? That's why you had your phone over here today.
No, that was for my other article.
Oh, that was for your other article?
That was for my other article, yeah. My other little topic.
But basically, this decision has sparked a lot of frustration for people because there's already a strain on the demand for it. Now there's more of a strain that they just put in. And some people don't like the flower. They don't know how to, they don't have the time or the resources to make edibles or anything like that. So vaporizers were their go-to.
And Pennsylvania, I think, still has this weird law that doesn't allow you to actually burn it.
No, you have to vaporize flower.
Yeah, I hate Pennsylvania's laws the way they are like that. It's so dumb.
It really is. That's another reason why
so stupid.
The price is so high. It's because of dumb laws.
That's why I was so paranoid at first having my medical card, because like I was like, what if they catch me doing it the wrong way? It's like, dumbass, it doesn't matter how you do it if you're not being seen doing it right.
Yeah.
The thing that matters here is that if you test for it and you pop positive for it, they're not going to throw you in the clink.
Yeah.
That's the important part in it. They know it helps you. That's the important part, not how you do it. They're not concerned with how you do it or just if you're under the influence, right?
Yeah. So basically in this email, the state was quoted, although some of these additives may be considered safe in other non-inhaled products, vaporized products contain added ingredients such as externally sourced flavoring or terpenes. These are two different parts of the email that I'm quoting from.
Yeah.
Now we ended up digging, and we found the list. Some of these things are, scientific names for crap I don't understand.
Yeah, me either. It's just really sciencey acids and bonding things.
Yeah, and some of these were, the actual terpenes, just straight up terpenes. And I'm like, okay, why are these terpenes not safe? They didn't give a reason why. They just said, this was what's added. This is not approved. I'm like, why was it not approved?
Yeah.
The FDA is not adding like a certain amount of these terpenes, I think partially because it's connected to cannabis. Now, some of these external flavorings probably aren't great. I will say that. But it seems like also on this list that some of the ones I did do a little diving with, like vaporizers for like nicotine vaporizers.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these are on the same list, and yet they're approved. So how does big tobacco get away with it? And then, the nicotine industry and everything of, vaporizers, but cannabis can't.
There's also a small conspiracy in PA that like big tobacco in this state is behind some of the vaporizer movements, because some of the big tobacco companies are in the back pockets of the vaporizer industry. They're all just money circle jerking because it's all nicotine. Y'all get people addicted. Y'all make money.
Yeah, well, that's like Juul brand, like the disposable vaporizers, are actually trying to get into the cannabis industry, or have.
They have
gotten into the cannabis industry, and then you also have Marlboro. I can never say it. Marlboro. I used to smoke it, and I can never say it.
I used to smoke the blacks. Menthol.
But they're trying to also get into the cannabis industry. So that like coaster I got from Grandpa Joe's that says Marlboro Cannabis.
Yeah.
It's ironic to me.
It is fucking ironic.
That's why I got it, because they are trying to get into the cannabis industry as well.
Yeah.
It's weird because a lot of these tobacco companies are trying to get in, and I feel like they're going to just take what they did with tobacco and did with cannabis.
And then you're going to get another thing. Can you grow it by your own? And then it's going to get into who's in whose back pocket.
Exactly.
It's going to get political. It's gross.
And I think that's part of why this recall was in effect too. Now, here's the thing is within California, a lot of the chemicals they use to preserve and grow the tobacco are being denied in cannabis, which is the funny thing. And I think that is actually a smart move.
Yeah.
Now, some of the stuff that isn't, like, the small amount of certain things that, you can get in your food are also being denied from cannabis. And I'm like,
I keep forgetting, and I want to block out that sometimes you can get like bugs and shit in your food.
Yeah. But
there's a certain amount of bug allowed in peanut butter.
But you also got to think the spread. There's like two roaches for every like 100 jars of peanut butter or something like that. You know what I mean? It's very minute amounts.
Yeah, it still freaks me out though a little bit. So
you're talking to someone who's eaten bugs. I mean, I don't really care.
I have eaten a bug intentionally. I don't want to accidentally eat bugs. That's a different story.
No, I've intentionally eaten bugs.
Yeah, same. But that's different because I want to eat it. If I unintentionally eat a bug, then I'm going to be upset about it.
I don't care.
I will be. I don't want to crunch on a bug.
I've accidentally eaten bugs before too.
I know. I've done it too. On our camping trip. On our camping trip, I inhaled a fucking mosquito.
Oh, it's not
as bad as
yeah. It's not as bad as going on a roller coaster accidentally swallowing a bee.
Jesus Christ! I did that. No! Ow! No! Ow! 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 Ow!
I was like,
Jesus Christ!
I'm pretty sure that was a bee. That goes. Why? I'm like, 'cause I think it stung.
I'm so glad you're not allergic. That probably would have fucking killed you. That would have killed you easy.
I'm pretty sure it was a bee.
Holy fuck! Oh, God, no. Now can I only think of those Futurama fucking bees. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Space bees.
The space bees with the space parasite things are making them fight each other.
Oh, yeah, the Kwanzaa special in short.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, it's weird with I feel like this isn't 100% for safety.
Yeah.
Maybe some of it, because I don't know all the chemicals and everything, some of it probably is. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's either, them going off the FDA's list and saying, oh, you can't use this because cannabis related, or we forgot to put the paper bags that the boys like to play with. We have paper bags from the grocery store, so our cats love it because, the crunch noise.
Or sometimes we gave them one for like a DoorDash order earlier. It smelled like Berbers, so they're just like crunch, nom nom, scratching at it.
But anyway, I don't feel like this is 100% for safety reasons. You know?
There's also the who's going to be in whose back pocket part of it.
Yeah. So, take all this with a grain of salt. Obviously, this is our speculation.
Yeah, we're just throwing out ideas here, what we think might be true.
Yeah, so, I mean, because, they didn't give us any information.
No.
I had to
throw this out here and then say, try to figure it out.
It was like, hey, these brands, this strain from this brand, this strain for this brand, don't smoke as as one of the ingredients from this list. Here's the list. There are 2 separate web pages that I had to click 4 pages to get to.
They make it so fucking difficult.
And then it's basically like, oh, here's the list. They don't say what it is. They just said, here's a scientific name. I'm like, okay, what is this?
The first time that this happened, remember the first time this happened, like 8 months ago when we still lived in State College? You remember when this happened? No. They sent out an email about it, just a general. This isn't the first time that they've recalled the vape stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The first time it happened was like close to the closer to the time we moved, like a month before we moved, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked into all of this with that email. And I'm like, why are we doing this again? What are we trying to accomplish here?
I don't know.
I'm so confused.
We gotta go on break.
Yeah.
We're at that time.
We'll go snack and be back.
And we're back.
Hello.
Hi. Got my earrings in now, so.
There's some of the rest of the pizza stuff that we had, the cinnamon roll parts.
Those are good.
So good. Had some milk with it.
So the next thing I want to talk about, Super Bowl Sunday was yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
So 2 things that came out of it, both cannabis related. Recent video came out that Snoop Dogg was smoking weed before the halftime show.
Yo, Double G, I saw your video.
And USA Today, I think, shared an article about it, and someone tweeted the article and basically going, a news company is so boring it has to report how wet water is.
Basically, yeah.
And I'm like, that's
And then Snoop Dogg smoking pot. Gee, what the fuck else is new? No, everybody knows that.
Everyone knows that he does that. It's California. It was in they played at the Rams home stadium, which is the SoFi Stadium in California.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a lot of people from out of state. You had a lot of people from Ohio.
Yeah.
A lot of people from other states going to see the Super Bowl because, even if your team's not in it, there's a lot of people who want to go to the Super Bowl, right? To say, hey, I was there to watch this game in person, right?
Well, there's also just the other crowd of people who just want to watch it at home just to say that they watched it and had a bunch of snacks and had a quote-unquote party.
Yeah, but this is where I'm going with, like, there was basically a big influx of people because of the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Marijuana sales that day and, basically the week of the Super Bowl went through the fucking roof. Because you had a bunch of people coming in for the Super Bowl.
And smoked pot
and smoked pot for the first time while they were there.
Hell yeah, that was great.
So marijuana sales went up through the fucking roof.
I love that.
And I'm like,
fuck.
Oh, okay. Makes a lot of sense though, because you have a lot of out-of-staters trying it for the first time.
Yeah.
Because they're like, when in Rome, right?
Right.
So
it goes that way with Colorado too. When the weather gets nice,
yeah,
people go out to Colorado and just up through the roof.
Dude, we should really take a trip to Colorado and actually record an episode.
Yes.
I wonder if your Surface can do this.
Probably.
I mean,
we could take it with us and just record while we're there.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to Colorado and I actually want to smoke pot this time.
But yeah, that was basically my next topic. Was basically a lot of Super Bowl fans trying California hospitality.
Yep.
Also, can I just say, with all the, how like each state has ads to get people to travel to their state to visit and everything. Yeah. And California was always like, come see the weather, come see the beautiful national parks, come take a hike, the scenic routes and everything. Come see Hollywood, come see LA, come surf in the Pacific Ocean. Nothing about cannabis.
No.
Nothing about cannabis. But Colorado's agency for people to get travel, there's a name for it. I'm drawing a super blank on it. But basically, Colorado was really smart because they worked with Square Enix to make Life is Strange True Colors. Because that was basically just a big ad to go visit Colorado, and there was a dispensary very prominent in the story.
Colorado was always like, "Hey, look at us, we have pot. Look at us, we have pot."
But I mean, I will say they were really honest with the price tag of buying a house out there.
Yeah.
Because I looked in the game and I'm like, "There's no way." Proceeds to look at the housing market. Oh yeah. And I learned recently why that is.
Why?
What is in the mountains of a lot of Colorado?
It's gold. Still?
No, it's not gold, but it's other minerals.
Yeah.
So when you buy a house, usually you're buying it that expensive because you're also buying the mineral rights of the land.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely why. Well, there's some places up here that you buy natural gas rights to the land.
Yeah,
because there's natural gas under Pennsylvania.
Well, that's why there's some of the housing market up here is going up now too, because of the natural gas. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be cool to actually, be able to see on TV. And there was rumor that there was an ad trying to go for that again this year, and it just never happened because the NFL. But there was a coalition of football players actually in support of cannabis because it helps them and everything. So maybe that's a few years around the corner and we're gonna start seeing cannabis ads.
That'd be so cool.
It just needs to get legal already. That's all it needs to do.
Legalize it. How many states is it gonna take for it just to be like federally? Whatever. Are we gonna have another gay marriage issue? Oh, it's like all but like 6 states have it legal, and then they're just like, fuck everybody. We're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
It might be. It honestly might be. What's your thing you actually wanted to look up to talk about? Because you've been kind of teasing it all day for me.
Oh, the Sims thing. Holy shit, the Sims thing. Okay, so I found this out the other day. Sorry, as we probably briefly talked about, we're both gamers, right? I used to play a fuck ton of The Sims. I still play a fuck ton of The Sims. I have so many fucking hours in The Sims, right? And I started at Sims 1 and been following them up through The Sims 4. Hold on, I need to drink. My throat is so dry.
Yeah, I'm not getting the dry mouth from this. And I don't know if I just threw in a lemon head right after smoking or what.
This is the one I usually ask you to get mints on. My throat gets dry. But The Sims, EA and Maxis are the companies that make The Sims, right? They're the agencies underneath the developers that make The Sims, are releasing a new game pack for The Sims 4 called My Wedding Stories. It's ceremonies and you can set up your aisles and have people actually attend and record this kind of very lifelike wedding ceremony. Very intimate, right? The official trailer for this pack centers around 2 women, Dominique and Camille, as they plan their wedding ceremonies.
Aww.
And my heart, I was like, this is a game I grew up with. And it's like, you guys are so inclusive and I love it. I'm not going to cry on the podcast. It's fine. The Sims isn't going to make me cry yet again. Because they've always been so cool and open to being who you are, right?
Yeah, I mean,
because they know a lot of people play these games to escape. And they can be actually who they are and
Well, it's like when Sims 4 came out and I started playing it, I lost my shit because it says P standing up or sitting down. Can or can't get pregnant. Can or can't get someone else pregnant. It's not just male or female anymore like it was in 2 and 3.
They fixed the gender stuff and they were one of the first games to ever be able to do that. And it made my heart happy too because they kind of evolved with me and traveled and journeyed with me, And it makes my heart happy to hear this stuff. But it's good to see they're so happy and proud, but there are still places where this is illegal, and Russia is one of those places right now.
Yeah.
And it goes against a Russian federal law introduced in 2013 called the Gay Propaganda Law that prohibits any children marketed content anyone under the age of 18 that treats homosexuals as a societal norm, even labeling it as propaganda. And that's why when The Sims 4 was released, it was hit with an 18 plus rating. So it wasn't marketed towards children because of stuff like this. Because The Sims, you've always been able to, at least from The Sims 2 and onwards, you could have gay relationships in The Sims. And one thing I'd love to see fixed, patched in, is polyamory now. And see how they mess with the jealous modifiers and stuff. Which Sims will get jealous and which won't. But EA met this head on. They didn't try to dodge it. They were just
Disney.
Like Disney. They were just yeah, we know. We know that everybody isn't cool with this, but we are. And we are not basically the gist of their letter, and I wanted to read some more of it detailed on the podcast, maybe read the whole thing. But the key points to get from it is EA and Maxis, this is what they stand for. And they don't want what they stand for to get edited because of laws for some place that doesn't stand for that or see it as being equal. And that's great and that's brave, but also there are these people there that they're not allowed to have that kind of representation.
Yeah.
And they're missing out on it because You're supposed to be able to like live your life your way in The Sims because it's always been like the theme of the game, right? And it's hard to do like if it's not legal there and you can't download it there and stuff. So
yeah, this is one of those rare cases where I would probably support touring a game like this.
Definitely.
Because I know there's like an underground bear club in Russia that's been making headlines recently. Obviously, it's like a few, probably weeks to a month old at this point, and I can't remember what they were talking about, but just like Russia's been getting slammed in the news lately with just like the anti-LGBT stuff, and it kind of sucks, to be honest. But a lot of places are trying to fix it within,
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of places that are changing. Like Israel now has like a cannabis organization that's kind of working with the government. There's a Iraqi LGBT youth group that's formed, or youth advocacy group that's formed, kind of like the Trevor Project and that kind of same breath. There's something else that formed recently in another country that wasn't really cool with it. But like we're slowly getting there, and everything, and that's so great. Because like for the longest time it's just one of those things where like, hey, we just want to be who we are kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's slowly becoming that everywhere. And it sucks that there's still hate about it and everything, because like people are assholes. Just point blank there, they're assholes, they're ignorant.
And then I also think of like, and this is another thing attached to it, the pedophiles who try to jump on the bandwagon of this is our sexuality. We had to like try to boot them off the edge.
Oh yeah,
all of that shit that was going on.
Speaking of that, I actually read something not too long ago. I mean, it's old news at this point too, like 2 weeks old. There was one of those youth advocates basically saying like, hey, don't let kids catch the gay kind of shit.
Ugh. I hate that shit.
Got arrested for pedophilia. And I'm like, oh, the irony of keeping the kids safe and you're a fucking pedophile.
Surely that happens all the fucking time.
Yeah, I'm not, and it's really stupid. And I hope he didn't hurt anyone in any capacity. But like that is fucking the hypocrisy there of you're trying to keep the kids safe and you're a pedophile when this, he was very much against like the drag queen reading hour. This person just dress up glamorously to read to your kids. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also learned, thanks to Mom and sharing a TikTok video, the first drag queen was a former slave.
Yeah, I saw that video too. I was like, that is amazing.
I can't remember the name, but yeah, the first drag queen was a former slave who ended up getting freed because of the Civil War and everything, but performed and had a space for other I don't remember if they called themselves drag queen then, or like if that was the term they used, but basically held a safe space for them to dress in women's clothing and perform in. And I'm like, that is really cool.
Yeah.
So another little Black history tidbit, but also feel like, oh great, now I feel bad, because like I don't want it to be like another thing that like gay white people have appropriated from Black culture.
Yeah,
or gay Black culture, because we've done that a lot.
Yeah, you see that a lot.
Studs and like studs, femmes, and butches, I think were originally all like Black queer, or at least queer women of color.
Yeah.
Terminology and everything, and I'm like, yeah. I don't know. It's just the weird like way white queer people label themselves, or just queer people in general, like chapstick lesbian, Bambi lesbian.
Can I just say the old queer white men with their kimonos?
Oh God,
Oh
yeah. No. Like that one guy in is kind of making kind of fun of him, of that kind of era in Big Mouth.
Yeah. Exactly who I'm thinking about.
Yeah, but calls out Michael? Is that his name?
I think so.
The gay guy in Big Mouth, who's basically, he calls him out and basically, look, being gay and mean is not a personality. I'm like,
cool.
I know a lot of people like that I went to high school with.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, I love Big Mouth. The art style is not the greatest, I will admit that. But I can look past it because it's funny as shit.
In my personal opinion, it's not like
home videos.
No, fucking no. What do I always fucking make
Bob's
fun
Burgers.
of? Bob's Burgers, like it was animated in the back of a van. Holy shit.
No, if you ever watched home videos, like 4:00 in the morning on Adult Swim, or if you caught it like I did, like 6:00 in the morning, because you had like Cartoon Network West. Getting ready for school. It was basically like one of the last things Adult Swim would play before, you switch to Cartoon Network in the morning.
Like the daylight hour shows.
Yeah. But also had the guy who voices Bob voices the coach. So it was really weird because it was kind of like Dr. Katz almost, or Ed, and Eddie. Was very squiggly lines, like the outlines were never solid. Yeah. It looked very weird. It
is a very weird looking show. But it's funny. It's funny as fuck. It's kind of relatable too.
Actually, speaking of weird shows in Adult Swim, we were watching Markiplier's Try Not to Laugh thing, and you were losing your crap. And this just reminded me of it. Xanthar Renegade Angel was on one, and it was just a bit, and Alex was like, what the fuck acid trip am I on right now?
What the hell did I fucking smoke? Like, the fuck? Am I sober? What the hell did I just watch? And Mark was like, I don't know what the fuck I watched. This isn't funny.
And then you have me just losing my shit.
I don't know what this is. And I'm just like, I know. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with her?
And I'm like, because I remember that being on Adult Swim.
I don't.
I remember watching it one day, just like super late at night. I was sick. And Mom already said, look, you're already throwing up. It's like 2 a.m. You're not going to school, kind of thing. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
I couldn't fall back asleep, so I just threw on Adult Swim, and I was watching it. I'm like, what the heck is this? And it's just the most random crap. It is just random.
That's why I love to go over to Gail's house and spend all those weekends over at Gail's house in State College. She had the good TV.
Yeah.
Like, she had the cable box. So I could watch Adult Swim late at night and watch Bleach and all that shit. And,
God, Bleach.
In Courtney's room, she had like this like shaded in kind of bed, so you couldn't see the lights from the street, which there's TV. Then the cabinet with the fold out front, really old style entertainment center in the bedroom. And I lay there, like my eyes are like 10th of the way open, and I'm looking through my blurry eyelids at these weird like bumps for Adult Swim and shit. Like, some of that shit I couldn't even recall if that was real. Nobody else experienced that with me, but it felt like surreal because it's Adult Swim shit.
Yeah, Adult Swim shit's just always been weird.
And I love it though.
Yeah, same. Like Super Jail.
Yeah.
Super Jail feels like a fever dream, even though I watch it every now and again. Still, I'm like, oh my god, yeah.
Or fucking, what the hell, one with Meatwad?
Oh, Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force is like a fever dream sometimes to me. I was like, yeah, that is actually a fucking thing.
How many times I gotta tell you? Stay out of my freaking pool! I feel
Another thing I'd fall asleep to was it on the TV.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be a bit quieter this episode because I was leaning back the entire time. Oh well, it's fine.
Okay, I might be loud and overcompensate.
But yeah, is there any other topics you have?
No, the EA thing, that was my thing.
Okay.
It's kind of cool. It's great that they did like that, but also it's kind of sad because there are people who can't play it now.
Yeah, no, that is, and that's very telling because like you have things like Bethesda,
Uh-huh.
who show corporate pride.
But only in the places it's legal.
Yeah. And like Bethesda Russia, normal logo. Bethesda, I think they just have one general one for the Middle East.
Yeah.
But it's also just their normal logo. But England, America, Canada, New Zealand, all these other countries where it's legal, pride flag, where EA is like, yeah, we don't care.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah. It's like we're not letting you turn something that we made and are proud of into whatever the hell you want to shove down people's throats.
Mm-hmm.
So goodbye. It's not like we're ignoring you. We're just saying F you.
Yeah. It's like
it's great.
Target threatened to pull out of North Carolina because of the bathroom bills. Because Target's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, Target's like, what the fuck? Target's cool with everything. They have Black Lives Matter shit. They have a whole bunch of gay pride shit. They give to the Trevor Project every single year.
Oh, yeah.
They'll just pull out. They don't care.
I feel like Spencer's was probably one that was going to do that, too.
Oh, yeah, Spencer's is the same way. Spencer's is fucking awesome to work with like that, too. Like, God, I want to work for them again. It was great.
They're hiring. Oh, speaking of hiring.
I miss Spencer's.
I just applied to like 7 cannabis jobs.
Yo, the same. I'm hoping and keep my fingers crossed.
Like, definitely want to work in the industry. That's like a goal. But definitely want to be able to live off like my podcast, like the podcast and my webcomics. That is goals. If I can just live off like the cool stuff I'm doing.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. I still got to finish the Patreon because I have no idea how to make a Patreon for a podcast.
I don't know. I've never had any experience with Patreon, but I could take a stab at it.
Oh, no, I know how to, like, I don't know what to put for the tiers is basically, like, where I'm going. I'm like, what do I do?
Audio content. I've listened to, Good Mythical Morning did a thing like this on their YouTube channel way back in the day, so I kind of have some experience with this as somebody who watched somebody who had a Patreon like this.
Mm-hmm.
You would get exclusive clips. You would get the episode early. Like, it would drop early for these people. You would get, like, behind the scenes things, or like we wanted to record clips while we were in the car talking or whatever.
Yeah,
shit like that.
But we go through Anchor. How would that work?
I don't know. We'd have to patch it in somehow. But that's the shit like that. Like, stuff behind the scenes stuff.
You can also do merchandise.
Night Vale does the same thing too. Night Vale has a Patreon for Night Vale.
Yeah.
I love working on Night Vale.
I know you do.
God, I love to talk to you guys. That'd be so great. You're going to Pittsburgh soon. I want to go.
Trying to think what else to talk about.
I don't know. I just got really giggly.
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 Great googly moogly.
Don't start these on the giggles. No.
Oh, crap baskets.
God, how you feeling over there?
I'm pretty good.
I'm so giggly right now. I'm getting a little bit. You laugh at their own poop jokes.
I've actually been doing the thing where I keep my lighter with me now at work because I have a lot of people who smoke cigarettes at work, but sometimes they just forget the lighter. So I just started bringing it.
Like, don't take it the lighter though. That's a good fucking lighter.
Yeah,
You're gonna punch them.
Oh yeah, I'm very on them. Like if they do not return my lighter right away, like one of my coworkers, didn't return it right away because he just jumped back on the line. I'm like, hey buddy, lighter. Now, give it back. Oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, that was custom made. Give it back.
Yeah, our cool fucking podcast custom made lighter. Give the fucker back. Come on.
But I'm also using it as like, hey, listen to my podcast.
Listen to my podcast while you have this in your hand. Take a picture of it. Go and fucking listen. Too bad the code didn't end up working in the end.
It still has the name in it. It's just really small because it's on a lighter.
Mm-hmm. It's so fucking cool though. I saw this guy on Instagram. I bought Skittle a while ago.
Yeah, but I think it's funny too, is because like one day I was just like, "Do you smoke like cigarettes?" So I'm like, "No." Oh yeah. Like one of my coworkers was like, "Are you talking about like which strain?" And I'm like, "No, that's."
What do you smoke? Tell me, motherfucker.
It was like I knew.
What is it?
I knew they smoked cigarettes, and it's all like I was like, "Hey, what do you smoke?" Because I was so stressed out the last shift I worked at that I bummed a cigarette.
And I was like, it's fine. Just, don't make a habit of it every once in a while.
I took 2 puffs and I couldn't get any further.
So it's like you did that at fucking, what was it, New Year's like 2 years ago? Your dad was like, it was whenever Aunt
my Aunt
Tanya was there. It was when Aunt Tanya was there. Aunt Tanya smoked cigarettes.
Yeah.
And your dad tried to bum one. He's like, fuck, I can't do it. Gave it to you for some fucking reason.
Yeah, I'm like...
You're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? What the hell do you want me to do with it? And I was thinking, and then I was like, no, I can't fucking do it now either. Ugh.
Yeah.
What the hell?
But I asked them, I'm like, hey, what do you smoke? And you're thinking, what brand? Forgetting they know I smoke cannabis. And they're like, are you talking about like strain, indica, sativa, kind of thing? And I'm like, no.
Cigarettes.
What brand of smokes do you have? Oh, I want to bum one. They're like, okay, but tell your wife they can't get mad at me. And I'm like, I already asked them. They said it was okay. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. They were worried you were gonna get mad.
Oh God, they're scared of me.
I don't think they're scared of you.
Like, don't fuck with my life. I'll beat you up. Or scary.
I know we're making a pretty good life here.
Oh God, I like it here. That house beside your coworker. Did you talk about that on the podcast? I can't remember if you did.
I can't remember if I did either.
That house across from your coworker. Oh my God, I want it so bad.
Yeah, we gotta find out if it's for sale because it looks abandoned.
If it's abandoned, we can save it, fix it uppers, move in there, have kids, have play dates.
Yeah.
Be great. Kira could come over and visit too.
Mm-hmm.
Be so great.
I generally did talk about, us going everywhere on the last episode.
I know, I listened all by myself. What was I doing when I was listening? Was I going to the bank at work, maybe? I was doing something, driving somewhere, probably. In the car.
Yeah, it was really weird.
I was closing here. I was closing at work, that's what I was doing. I opened one morning and I listened and I was like, I was closed the next day and I listened to it. But yeah.
It was very weird because, like, you and me could bounce off back and forth to each other a lot.
You were struggling. You were bouncing and nothing was coming back.
Yeah, I was going off trail and kind of
bring yourself back, kind of. And I was like, I heard myself. I was talking to myself through the podcast, like, Rayven, come on, this way, please.
Yeah, it was very weird. It was okay, but it definitely, like I said on that episode, I felt very weird because I felt like not in the same realm of beliefs, but like I felt like one of those solo political podcasters.
Yeah, I know.
Like Rush Limbaugh, Alex Jones.
Freaking frogs gay.
Which you're recording right now.
Do you understand that? They turned the freaking frogs gay.
You're intellectual dumbass, and I'm coming.
Yeah.
That's a quote from Alex Jones.
God fucking Jesus Christ.
And Joe Rogan. Like, I felt like those kind of shows. And I'm like,
yeah, no.
There's other good, like, solo podcasts that aren't run by assholes, but those are the big ones I know. Because
you're missing Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh.
I said Rush Limbaugh.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know who Glenn Beck is.
God fucking.
Those are
Sandy used to listen to him all the fucking time. He writes decent books, but he's just on a fucking.
Who the hell is? I know there's one big solo podcast guy, but his big focus is on like stock market, and I can't remember who he is. But like those are the only big solo podcasters I know. The only other ones that I know are kind of like audio dramas or like kind of like in the same breath of Night Vale, but Night Vale also has other guest voices and everything on them. But kind of like they just talk about live or stuff. They talk about certain things in certain industries that they're in or anything. They'll have occasional guests.
There's also the Ear Biscuits. Good example. Good Mythical Morning has a podcast called Ear Biscuits, and they just talk about life and stuff that's going on.
But they're a duo.
Yeah, they're a duo.
What I'm saying was like the reason why I said like Joe Rogan and all them is because
they're solos.
They're the only solos I know.
Yeah, same.
But it looks like we're hitting that hour mark now.
Really? Holy crap, this episode went by fast.
It did.
Oh my goodness. I didn't think we'd have enough stuff. We had enough stuff, I guess. We went on some tangents and we talked about some stuff and had fun.
Once again, my name is Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Alex. I use they, them pronouns.
We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.